Him. Call. 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 Good. Okay, so nine is favorites. Darrow check. Wait. No, you ain't on. 140. 140. 140. Not full. These lights are. Tim's thinking. No. Yes. Is that call? Calling. All right. There are folks. Call. Set call. Two hours. Ten spades. You got a flush. No, you got a flush up there.
And we are wrapping up the bomb pot here at Poker House Fort Worth in Burleson, Texas. The 1-2 game on Wednesday night. They're going to open it up here with the bomb pot. We did see some all-ins, so it looks like that's going to be a scoop. A scoop there by Nabi. So a good start to the stream tonight. Welcome everybody for tuning in to the Poker House live stream. This is the 1-2 game, DJ's game, 1-2 game on Wednesday nights.
Nabi's up to 300. Zach's up to 200. 205. And Tim is going to stack chips for quite a while. Janice is in. You consider it done. We are all together. Good to go. Janice? Fold. 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 Raise. That raise. 50. 6002. 7 call. Call. Call.
And we can bear with us here while we get some of the audio set up. Zach with the top pair, ace kicker, Brian flopping 2 pair. This is going to be a tough one for Zach.
That's good. Okay, good.
That's him, Brian.
I'm a back Zach.
Yeah, B.
Thank you, Brian. Button is good. What are we, 2 hands, 5 elements?
Not too bad.
We're off to a good television program.
Yeah, it's definitely quiet.
We got a live straddle on Promo Pat.
It's definitely quiet until the last time.
Okay, good to go. 5 call. Set call. 5 call. Call. Brent. Hold. Hold. Calls. John Smith. Promo Pat raises to 30. Tim Fellas. None. 2 players, heads up. How much you got coming? Okay, Zach has 300 coming.
Asian aces?
That bet's 40.
What's that?
I was gonna take.
Are we playing a 7 deuce game?
I seen it on the last. I saw it on the last live stream. I'm thinking of y'all playing, but I didn't see nobody see.
Is that why you playing it?
Take it. If you want to play the 7 deuce game, we can, but that has nothing to do with our programming. That's honor that I need, guys.
Okay, I just seen it on the last live stream. I was gonna take it there. I promise. I promise.
As
Oh,
everybody.
DJ, that's DJ's thing.
As everybody, no? Okay. I don't care.
A little camaraderie,
Yeah.
jazz it up a
Hey,
bit.
everybody wants it. I'm good with whatever y'all want.
Everybody have to give you 5.
5, 10, whatever you say. Yeah. Yeah, fun. I can't believe this dude's called 7 deuce, $30.
You got the money?
He's trying to freaking bust me.
Okay, we are good to go. Live straddle on Tim. Sorry. 205. 5 with straddle. Okay, everybody has to read the cards again, please. Okay, we're good. Okay, Tim straddled for 5. Zach folded. Silent off. Fold.
And we have our table mics set up. We can hear some of the conversation there at the table. It's a good development here for the live stream. So we're going to let you guys listen in to the table for a little bit while we get the commentators set up.
Tim checks. Simon checks. Not there. You got the border.
The other thing is, fold.
You know what I mean? When he was going up,
He should have never.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she was just like, go ahead, stop.
Jump up.
3 players. Simon.
Yeah.
Check. Bobby raises to 75.
So that year was forward legend Robert Hughes passed away.
Oh,
Coach Dunbar.
Dunbar.
Yeah, he passed away.
How old is he?
I got not
Sure, but
he was pretty old.
yeah, he's
He
pretty
was
old.
up in age for sure.
Because I remember
Daryl?
check watching Dunbar games like way back.
Yeah.
I was quickly.
Okay, Nabi bet 125, Daryl Holder. Remember, we still have the fortune as well going on. If you have one of those four hands, let me know. We also have bad beat going on, so I always show you bad beat. Thank you, Nabi. Can't on the button. You can do only under the gun.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Only under the gun.
So
Because the programming won't allow us. We didn't do that until after we were done streaming last week.
The only reason I did it is because people were trying to steal my and I think that comes from okay. That's why I was
Okay, we're good to go. Zach. Oh. Zach calls. Simon calls. Brian calls. KO folds. Gerald calls. Nabi folds. Janice calls.
We have another round here of some pretty good hands. We've seen some of them coming along already. Ace King, Ace 10, King Jack, Queen Jack. Seen lots of chips fly in these first 5 hands here on stream, and this one's going to be no different. Promo Pat with the rest of it, going to raise it up to 30 with Zach Zyman and Daryl coming along. Ace King 10, monster flop here. Queen Jack flopping the stones, and Ace King for Promo Pat 2 pair, and Daryl 2 pair. So this, yeah, let's watch this one play out.
Zach goes all in. Full. Daryl's all in. Pat's all in.
Are we allowed to work
Good
on
luck,
bots?
Owen.
We got a pot.
See wins. Yeah. Good luck, Owen.
Yeah, and just as expected, all these players are going to get it in on this flop here.
It's up to you guys, once or twice. Once, okay. Maximum.
Players saying one time and one time only. Soon they turn this over. Yep. And unfortunately, they have each other's outs to try to take over Zach on this flop to Broadway. Does not happen.
Straight.
So, an absolute
That was a nice one.
train wreck of a hand. And it's going to get Zach a full triple up to almost 500. The hand cannot go any other way when you have Ace King, Ace 10, and Queen Jack on an Ace King 10 flop. Big hand there for Zach.
You can add on up to 300 anytime.
And we want to welcome everyone for tuning into the Poker House Fort Worth live stream. This is DJ's Game. DJ's Game, the 1-2 on Wednesday nights. We have the list up on Poker Atlas. Poker House Fort Worth, located here in Burleson, Texas, just south of Fort Worth. So you can come in and join in on this game. And if anybody does bust out and chooses not to re-enter, we do have a waiting list. So come be on live stream. We have the table mics up and going tonight, so you'll be hearing it primarily from the players. And my name is Reese. And for the first time, I'm actually here in Poker House Fort Worth. So you can come see me tonight if you are in the area.
Tim raised to 25. Zach rolls. You got me? Yep. How much? 25. Zach folds. Brian folds. Taylor folds. Daryl calls. Either there are 2 players heads up. Tim, your first out. Tim bets 35. Daryl raises, leaves 17. 70. Tim calls.
Check.
100. Tim calls. Tim. 100. All in.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
A 100 all in and a call here. Tim gonna have Daryl out kicked just barely. So there's a rebuy there for Daryl.
Tim bet 100. Daryl called.
As you hear Minnesota Mike there in the box, our Wednesday live stream dealer.
Now Daryl's coming back with
Tim, I'll trade you seats.
And shout out to Lorenzo in the control booth. And my name is Reese
Yeah, Daryl's pretty
here in the commentary booth, bringing you DJ's game, the 1-2 no limit game on Wednesday nights here at Poker House Fort Worth. It's a max $300 buy-in. A 1-2 game with a max $300 buy-in. I have been commentating this game for the last few weeks from West Texas, but tonight I am here with you in Burleson at Poker House Fort Worth. Got some of the table mics up and going so we can hear some of the players' reactions to some of the hands tonight. Always a fun thing to hear what they have to say in the moment, more so than what I have to say.
good to go, Brian.
And we will be streaming with you guys for the next couple hours.
Daryl raises to 10. Fold. Fold. Call. Fold back. Four players. Check. Check. That bet's 20. Oh, couldn't see Tim's cards.
Sorry.
Fold.
I see you look at me like that.
I thought it was your turn. So
I know.
Five calls, Daryl fold.
I just,
Check. 65. That bet 65. Check. $150. Set call. Nines and fours.
Nice call.
Tens and fours.
Tax back up to 300. Thanks, sir.
Got a live straddle.
What you got it? You got it right?
I got 300.
Yeah, they come up here.
Oh, okay. You want 100? Can I get a brush, please?
I'm fine, thank you.
Make a check. Zero. 5 to go.
They're a folder. Yeah, they're a folder. Call for Navi. Call for James. Call for Jim. Okay, folder. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's 20 to go. Raise to 20. Fold. Call. Call. The first freeze up of the day. You handled that well. KO. Check. 75. Fold. 10 calls. Fold. Two plays, heads up.
And one more big hand brewing here. We've got a set versus two pair. And if the cards are right, big lay down there of the 9-8. So we've got 9-7 and a set. 7 now turned a full house for Nabi. Tim here still must feel like he could be ahead with his bigger two pair, and he does. He is going to raise Nabi here. And no question here that Nabi's going to make the call. It's just going to, if he thinks that he can go ahead and go all in here and get a call out of Tim. Tim, the benefactor of a few big hands already with a big chip stack of almost 1,000. So he definitely can afford this call if Nabi decides to shove here.
Take the bet back.
I'm sorry, I was. Yes.
Yeah, he does just make the call here. So we're going to go to a river. That's not going to help anything, but it could be a scare card for Tim. Oh, Nobby's going to check it to him. Great check.
Goes 100.
As you hear Mike there say, Tim bets 100, and Nobby's going to think about this here for a minute and go ahead and go all in with his full house. And there it is. And that's, yeah, he does go ahead and snap call there for Tim. So Nobby's going to get the full double up with the full house there.
Full house.
No hesitation there from Tim for the straight, but he correctly probably assumes that the pot is already too big to lay it down.
Get away from him.
100. 200. Nobby with the full house. Seat 6.
And a big hand there for Nobby. You hear Mike there talking about the full house there, seat 6. That's one of our promotions we have going on right now here at Poker House Fort Worth. The Fortune Frenzy. That's right, the Fortune Jackpot. There are time blocks here at Fort Worth. Hit a full house, a straight, a set. Make 4 hands and win the jackpot here at Fort Worth. Lots of stuff going on here at Poker House Fort Worth. We just wrapped up the road to Vegas. Looking forward to that tournament coming up on next Saturday, the 21st, I believe. I have to go and look it up. The 22nd. Everyone who has accumulated chips throughout our tournaments here at Poker House Fort Worth gets to bring those chips back. And we're going to have 2 main event seats. That's right, 2 World Series of Poker main event seats, one to the winner of the tournament, that 22nd and 23rd, a week from this coming Saturday. But we're also going to have a random drawing. So if you have played at Poker House Fort Worth in any of the free rolls or the tournaments in the last 3 months, I believe, you have chips in this tournament. And by coming and playing in the tournament, at a minimum, you can be entered into a random drawing for the main event seat to Las Vegas. And then run your stack up and try to win the $10,000 entry for the first place in that tournament that next weekend after this one. Big Co going to raise it up here with the jack. Simon with the same hand. Janice with a flush draw makes the call. And Nobby with the better kicker. So we're going to go with 3 to a turn here on a pot that is built rather quickly. 8 on the turn, it doesn't change anything, but gives Janice a pair to go along with her flush draw. And now we're going to keep the betting lead going here. 55 into that $150 pot here, so Janice getting close to odds to make this call here. Goes ahead and does make that call. We'll see if Big Co thinks that his jack is still any good with the 7 kicker. Looks like can't see his cards anymore. Up to there on the bottom of the screen. He's thinking about to see if that 7 kicker might be getting him into any trouble. Janice is flat behind Nobby. Makes it a little bit scary. But he is going to be a non-believer and come along. So we are still going to be 3 to a river. And the club comes in for Miss Janice. Now let's see if she can extract any value out of this river. Let's get the front door flush draw. So It's tough for Nabi to continue betting here. Yep, she's just gonna play it face up. So no way that Biko or Nabi can make the call here with the front door flush getting there.
You better stop. I smell it coming.
Thank you, Jen.
Mark that for me, please. Mark
That's
that hand
good.
for me.
Oh, I get to watch it. Hold on,
You just show the hands and then you be on the ball.
Only if it's A-side. Okay, good to go. Nabi, that pizza ever come back for you?
Oh, that's not on yet? Okay. I ordered it. Fold. Back on. Fold. Side call. Right call. Scale call, barrel check.
Okay, check, right? You can check. 0. Check.
And we are on hand number 10 here in DJ's game on Wednesday night. My name is Reese here at Poker House Fort Worth. It's a 1-2 game every Wednesday that you can sign up for. And we currently have a list going right now if you feel like driving over here and playing tonight and joining these guys. If anybody does bust out and choose not to buy back in, come hop on live stream. Do it tonight and every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. It's a 1-2 game, $300 max buy-in. And looks like Simon's 2 pair is going to hold up here with Big Co not improving on his second pair. Simon's going to go ahead and bet this out, not scared of any straights out there. And Big Co, who had to make a laydown last hand to Janice, is probably going to have to make another one here that's not going to feel good and have to do it twice in a row after putting quite a bit of money into the middle. He is sure thinking about it, though. He makes the call trying to bluff catch Simon there, but Simon's going to show him the bad news. So a bluff catch call there by Big Co, but this time it is incorrect. Simon did actually have the hand this time. And a pretty decent sized pot there for Simon. Showing quite a few people here watching this Wednesday night live stream. Put in the chat where you're from. Are you local here to Fort Worth? Is one of these players one of your buddies? One of your family members? Who are you rooting on for this 1-2 game? Promo Pat betting his pocket fives. Navi's going to come along with the middle pair. And Tim's going to call 35 and try to hit that miracle 10. Does not happen just yet. Let's see if Promo Pat here stays with the pedal to the metal representing that ace. No, it's going to check around here, so that may make Nabi feel like he may be all right. Tim making a rivered pair of jacks there. It is no good. Nabi with the best of it with the queens, but cannot feel like the best of it, but it may be enough to bet it here. Since it, nope, he's just going to get showdown here, so Nabi's going to pick this one up with the pair of queens. Promo Pat missing a bet there on the turn, could have possibly taken that one down, but can't know with two callers. As we move along into hand number 12, Simon leading the pack in the VPIP category. Nabi and Tim and Zach and Daryl and almost the rest of the table back about 50% of the hands. So we definitely are seeing some action. And it looks like we are bringing in some chips for a bomb pot. For those that are unfamiliar, bomb pot is 4-card Omaha rules with 2 boards, each board representing half the pot. So Minnesota, Mike here will put out 2 full boards. And our players will play Omaha rules. They must play 2 cards out of their hand and only 3 on the board, but they can use any 2 cards for either one of the boards. And since the bomb pot, everyone gets to see the flop. So it's hard for me to tell you who's in the lead right now. Lots of cards out there. Looks like Brian is going to bet it out here with $20. Looks like he has a jack high flush draw, an open-ended straight draw on the bottom board, and not much of anybody has much of anything. Tim's going to come along with his pocket kings, hoping that the odds of Brian having that last ace in the deck are pretty slim. And now he knows for sure. So you're going to be able to see, or Tim here is going to be able to really blast off with his pocket kings. All 4 aces are accounted for. Has the effective nuts on the top board. But he is going to check it to Brian, and I don't see Brian betting this out here. Nope, he bet the pot. So Brian feeling maybe his yeah, he does have the wheel on the bottom. Okay, there it is. Yeah, so he had the 3-4 for the bottom wheel there. So they are going to chop that pot aces full of kings in Tim's hand, and the 4-3 for the wheel, and Brian on the bottom playing the ace deuce 5. So the players will chop up the ante money on the bomb pot, and we're back to Texas Hold'em. They do the bomb pot every 30 minutes, just like in the regular cash games here at Poker House Fort Worth and all of our locations. Bomb pots on dealers' chains in most games. Again, we want to welcome everyone for tuning in to Poker House Fort Worth Wednesday night DJ's game. This is a 1-2 no limit game with a $300 max buy-in.
Okay, we are good to go.
So each one of these players is in for the initial 300. Some have reloaded on a few hands so far. We've had some really crazy hands so far. The action's been really good. Eight, nine, queen. Not a lot for any of the players. I think I saw a queen out there somewhere. Tim gonna bet out his jack high. Gonna get a call there by a couple players. Still quite a few to the river. Janice is going to make two pair with that deuce on the river. No help there to any other player. I don't think she's going to get called by anybody unless maybe Simon with the eights, but I don't think so. Brian won't be able to call with his pair of fours, and Big Co only making the deuce on the river, missing his gut shot straight draw. So Janice here going to pick up a pot that was way bigger than it should have been with those hands and those that many players and those holdings. But some people trying to look to stick around and see what can develop.
We are good to go.
Zach coming in with the king nine. There is a raise to punish all the limpers there by Promo Pat with his ace eight suited, and it is going to be best pre-flop. But in for two, in for 15, as most Texas poker is. So we're going to go 5 ways to a flop. And the top pair eights going to be good for Pomo Pat there. Going to fire out huge overbet here to really put the pressure on anybody wanting to draw at the straight. That's not that huge of an overbet. I guess he'd bet 15, so it's about a pot size bet, a little under pot size bet. And Navi's going to come along with his bottom pair gut shot running spades hopes. Jan is having a gut shot, but not choosing to chase it for 50. So Pat looking to dodge one of the straight outs, and he's going to keep the pressure on with a 125 bet and showing the rest of his chips there. Let's see if he has anything to say to Navi. And he's not going to make that call, obviously, there. But Pat does not show his hand, but it was a best. And we are on to hand number 14 here at Poker House Fort Worth.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Got big hands. Sorry.
And as we let the graphics catch up here on a very wet board, see if Brian or Daryl has any royal flush dreams. It bet a quarter and did call, and there you go. We're going to be playing mystery hand with these guys, and does one of them have the Jack of Hearts? Does it show it? No, it looks like the nine of hearts, so we're not going to get the royal. We have seen one here on stream by Zach there in your C1. A couple months ago, I was commenting on that stream. So close to our second royal on the live stream.
Tim bet 15. Daryl calls. Call. Call. Daryl. Check. No. 55. Full, full.
No, the reason fits in. Yeah, it sits off. Take it out. Just soon as I'm out of
Oh, I'll go back.
So, I'm just gonna get meatloaf. Can I get 2 meatloaves or something? Slow down. That extra piece.
Oh, anytime, buddy, anytime.
Back tomorrow?
We're going to welcome everyone tuning in to the Poker House Fort Worth 1-2 game, DJ's game here on Wednesdays. You can sign up for it anytime. The list is up here at Poker House Fort Worth in Burleson. Hand number 17. We've still got a couple more hours left with you here on live stream to see what tonight holds in the action. We've had quite a bit of it already. Lots of big hands early on in the stream.
I'd rather us win the promo and then buy it. You know what I mean? Somebody win it and then buy it.
Janice can limp in with the best of it here with ace queen.
So somebody wins it, we always buy something.
And no help for anybody. And it's good to check around on this flop. A 9 peeling on the turn, still missing all of our participants. Let's see if Janice wants to put out of bed here. No, she does not. Nobody wants to fire at this pot, so anything on the river for anyone? Simon can pick up the top pair on the river with the king. Unfortunately, it's a 4 kicker to go with it, so he's just going to want to turn that one over with no bet. Going to show down the king and take down that pot that apparently no one else wanted. But every chip counts. And we've got some of the table chatter on tonight. Players were just talking about the Fortune promo that we have going on, the Fortune Jackpot promo. 4 hands, that's all you're trying to make. You're trying to make an ace high flush, a full house, any set, or any straight. 4 hands is what you are looking for to hit that jackpot. I believe it's $600 or better right now. Daryl in the 5 seat hasn't had much to work with today, but now he works up with a pair of queens. Going to raise it up to 10 and get a call out of promo Pat and Tim. Looks like seat 4 still has some cards. Thinking long and hard about this one. Can't quite see them just yet. Wait for the graphics to catch up here. And as the graphics catch up here, it looks like we made it to a flop. 7 ace 5, so those queens are going to look a little tough to bet there. Promo with the gut shot. Another ace is going to make Daryl feel a little bit better about his pocket queens, so we may see a bet out of him here. And he does go ahead and bet 25, and everyone's going to let this one go, and so the queens are going to hold. So a pot picked up there by Daryl. And not only do we have the Fortune Jackpot promotion going, but our Road to Vegas just wrapped up. If you're unfamiliar with the Road to Vegas, we're going to be giving away 2 seats to the WSOP main event. That's right, 2 seats to the WSOP main event. It's going to be starting up here in less than a month. We had 3 months worth of different ways to be able to get chips through our free rolls and tournaments. So if you participated in any of our tournaments over the last few months here at Poker House Fort Worth, you are in the running. All you have to do is come play in the championship tournament. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So 1 week from this Saturday, we're going to be having the Road to Vegas Championship. And the chip stack is determined by how much participation you had in our tournaments for the last few months. But if you enter at all, one of the seats we're giving away is a random seat drawing. So if you have played at all in any of our tournaments in the last few months, all you have to do is come play in the tournament that is a week from this Saturday and have a chance to win a $10,000 ticket into the World Series of Poker main event. And we're going to give another ticket away to the winner of that event. It's going to be a Saturday and Sunday event here at Poker House Fort Worth. So we're going to give away 2 tickets. Big Co has the most of it with the 8 of diamonds. I'm not sure he can think that he does, but he does have the 8 of diamonds, which is best. Has everyone else drawn completely dead? Looks like we're going to have a bet out here by Simon. Yeah, oh, and a big all in by Big Co there. You know, he looks like got an 8 of diamonds. He's going to think it's best. Little does he know it is best, but he's going to act like it is and pick up that pot. Much needed chips there for Big Co, who's had to make some laydowns onto the river the last 30, 45 minutes or so, unable to make some of the draws he's been after.
Not for you guys to remember. Your tickets will
I have 18.
What's up?
I have 18.
Steven, can you watch my turn? Can you watch my turn too? Thank you, Sam.
Hand number 20. About 1 hour here into the live stream. Tell me who you're rooting on. There's quite a few of you here watching this Wednesday night DJ's game 1-2 No Limit Hold'em, as dinner has arrived to the table. Some good looking pizza that I didn't get any here in the booth. So tell us in the chat, who are you watching? Who are you rooting on? So we've got Justin rooting on Big Co. Big Co just picking up his first pot in the last little bit, just last hand, and he looks like he's raising this one up as well to 15 as our graphics try to catch up on the action. We got a couple Big Co favorites. Am I saying that right? Does it go by Big Co or is it Big KO? I'm actually here on location this time for once. I'm usually in West Texas commenting the live stream, but I am on location, so I'm going to have to meet this guy. Looks like a bet there from Big Co, called by Tim in the 9 seat. Checks it over, and Big Co's going to check that back on the Queen 8-8-3 board spade. Front row spades do get there. A 6 that should not change much. Let's see, Tim is going to leave this one out here with a small $15 bet just in case Big Co missed everything. Big Co not left with much in his stack. He's had some troubles tonight to make anything connect and happen. And he's looking at the stack here to see if that 15 is too big of it to call down. We saw him make a hero call earlier on Simon. Unfortunately, was incorrect, but he is capable of making these hero calls, and he does go ahead and make the calls. We're going to get to see some cards. It looks like a queen for Tim, so he slow played that top pair, and that's going to be at best not getting to see Big Co's hand there, but a little slow play there by Tim to pick up some chips there out of Co's stack. Ace 5 king here. Daryl going to have a best with the ace 6 kicker. Nobby's going to bet his bottom pair of fives, called by Tim and Daryl. Daryl's still going to be best with the ace, and he's going to go ahead and bet this out for 20. And I don't think Tim or Nobby are going to be able to come along anymore. Daryl's a very serious man when he bets. A little scary. And Nobby does get out of the way, and Tim here go ahead and lets it go as well. So Daryl picks up another pot there. Promo Pat leading the pack in the pre-flop raise category, raising 21% of the hands. Followed by Daryl, Zach, and Tim, and everybody else just good to call rather than raising on their own pre-flop. We've had several hands, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different ways, so lots of people just want to get to a flop and play some post-flop poker, which we've had plenty of. But this one's going to be raised up pre-flop. Looks like 15 out of C3, and Big Co's going to jam in the rest of his stack over the top of it. Looks to be about 25 to go. Looks like a re-raise there out of Nobby, so apologize for the graphics trying to catch up. So Big Co all in on a pretty good pot. Again, it's only when Big Co's in the hand our graphics freeze up here. It looks like I'm going to blame Big Co. Pat can lead out to a side pot with 50. And Big Co is already all in, so it's to see. Oh, wow. There's a check jam out of Janice. That's huge. Instant snap call there. So, yeah, we're going to see some cards here. Thank goodness, because this pot has gotten huge. We got a set of 8s, looks like out of Janice. That's going to be hard to beat. And we're not going to get to see Pat's hand. So Janice with a monster there. And we'll see Janice with a little dance there with her flop set. Looks like it's going to take the main pot as well. So big hand there for Janice. And as you heard Minnesota Mike the dealer there call out, flop set for Janice. That is one of the hands you have to make for our fortune jackpot. You have to make a full house, an ace high flush, any straight, or flop a set, which is what she just did. And we see a reload there out of Big Co. So I know we have a lot of Big Co fans in the chat, so hopefully this second bullet will pay off and get some of those chips back. We are going to get this overlay reset here. Now, I don't think what you see on the screen there is what the players have on this hand. Unfortunately, Zach's in the hand, but this isn't what you see going on right now. Again, they are resetting our graphical overlay here. And it looks like there's the update we were looking for. So Simon's going to have a flush draw, and Daryl heavily betting his top pair with the queen king, your ace queen. He was called by Simon one time, but he bet a little heftier this time of $50, and Simon's going to go ahead and make this call. So he's going to be looking for a spade, and only a spade does not get there. So Daryl's going to be best in this hand unless Simon can blast off here and represent a 7, which he could do. $265 in the pot. I'd love to see him bet about $175, $200 right now. See what that would do to Daryl. He does go ahead and surrender the hand, and Daryl's just going to turn over his ace queen and take down this pretty significant pot. Simon really looked like he wanted to pull the trigger there, and I don't know that it would have worked. Daryl's a very good poker player and can sniff out some missed spades there every once in a while, but it would have been good to see a little blender action there out of Simon. Raised up to 10 by Big Co with the Queen 10 offsuit called by Nabi, Pat, Tim, Zach, and probably here comes Simon and Brian. So Texas heads up, as they like to say. Already a $70 pot with a range of holdings. And an ace, king, jack. So the flopped stones there for Big Co, who was the pre-flop aggressor. So a gin flop for him. Let's see if he continues on, or he might let somebody else try to catch up. But he does check it. Very, very smart. And that's going to give Pat a reason to bet this one here, 40. Not going to get many callers. And so does Big Co spring the trap now, or does he smooth call the 40 to try to extract max value out of Pat? Looks like he's counting out the call there. No, looks like he's pulling it back. I'm not sure if he wants to raise it up now or if he wants to wait. Yeah, it looks like he's going to go ahead and raise it up now. Yeah, he's just saying the pot is big enough for me right now, and let's go ahead and take this over in case you have two pair. Pat's going to come along, so maybe he knows that once Pat is hooked, he's not going to go anywhere. Pat looking to chop this pot with a 10, that's not going to be it. So Big Co, who checked raised the flop, yeah, he's going to go ahead and jam this turn. And I think he did get maximum value out of Pat here. Pat obviously can't call with a gut shot, so Big Co winning his first big pot here in the last little bit. Some much needed chips, shake off some of the misdraws and beats that he has had tonight. It's always good to get a good reset pot, drag one in, stack those chips, and feel better about everything and get back on the right track, and that's what Big Co's going to do. Hand number 25 here at Poker House Fort Worth in Burleson. My name is Reese, and we're going to be here with you for another hour and a half on this DJ's 1-2 stream. Again, this is a 1-2 no limit hold'em game. Max buy-in of $300 that you can sign up for anytime during the week here at Poker House Fort Worth. You can even join the game tonight if you are in the area. Drive on down here to Poker House Fort Worth, sign up in case someone busts out and we need to go to the list to fill the spot. Find yourself here on live stream. Simon going to raise this one up to 30 with his ace jack, and Navi's going to call, trying to steal one away with the jack 5 suited. Unfortunately, he is in tough shape against the ace jack of Simon. Neither player connects with this flop. I'm sorry, Navi's going to get bottom pair here. Simon's going to keep up the aggression with a $30 continuation. Snapped by Navi with the bottom pair. And that bottom pair is still good, but Simon is not going to slow down. He's going to double up that bet to 75. It's going to be difficult here for Navi to continue. That is, he continues to tell a story that he has a strong hand. But if Navi was convinced possibly that he was ahead on that flop, he's still going to be ahead on this turn. But Simon's telling too good of a story with his continued aggression, double barreling there, and takes down that pot. Well played by Simon.
You didn't hit it, huh? You didn't hit it, right? I love you, Colby. I love you, Colby. Yes, I think.
This time Daryl with the ace jack. Going to call the $5 straddle, I believe it was. Raising it up by Zach with the king 10 of spades. And we got quite a few people going to this flop for $20 pre-flop, so lots of action to be had. 7-7-6 on this flop. Tim in the 9th seat, who had a great run at the beginning of the stream and kind of cooled off in the last little bit, just spikes the trips. And Nabi is going to fire this one out for him. 65 with the bottom pair. And Tim's going to call really quickly, so that's going to send out some red flags there for Navi. That ace on the turn, also a scare card there. It's going to check it, and let's see if, Tim, a sneaky check here, boy. He was leaning back and forth. Checks, yeah, he's going for an Oscar with that acting job there. Good job by Tim. And Navi's 2 pair are now counterfeit, but the bluffs are not. He's going to bet 75, and Tim will probably have to pay this off. Not quite enough to be able to lay this down, even though that is a scare card. Yeah, Navi there fired a bullet, but it wasn't quite big enough. Have to really launch off with that river ace to get Tim off of that 7. Could have happened. Could have happened, but would have been quite a bluff. Looks like Promo Pat's going to raise this one up as the graphics play catch up here. Promo Pat really not being able to get much going on tonight. Hasn't had much to fight with. Looks like Big Co's going to re-raise him here. Looks like Pat made it. Yep, he's just going to jam it back up over the top here of Big Co. So a big call here for Big Co. He picked up that one pot, the first one, good one of the evening just a moment ago, and might be to put it all at risk here if he wants to make this call against Pat. And he does make that call, so they're going to run this one twice. We'll see if we get to see some cards here. Ten, 8, queen on this first flop. Another 10 on the turn, and so the first board is going to be run out. No players have exposed their cards just yet. Again, a raise from Pat and a re-raise from Big Co, a jam by Pat, and a call by Big Co. And we've got, looks like kings versus aces. Rough beat there for Big Co. Finally wakes up with a good hand, just to have someone else wake up with the bullets. Tough there, break there for Big Co.
Good hand.
Yeah, not much you can do about that. Finally picking up a monster hand, and someone else wakes up with aces. Running it twice, and the aces hold both times here. So we'll see if Big Co has any chips left, or if he is going to rebuy again. Has not been his night tonight, which we've all been there. Looks like he either has a little bit of chips left or has rebought into the game. As you see, Minnesota Mike there still dealing him some cards to fight back with. Six, four, deuce. Big Co gonna lead out with his middle pair of fours. Promo Pat with the top pair of sixes, gut shot straight draw. Nobby with the middle pair as well with the better kicker. Now they both have ace four, so Nobby and Big Co having the same hand. Front door diamonds do get there. Nobby with the ace of diamonds in his hand. Could continue here, which he does. Tim lets the gut shot go. Simon with the king 10. He's got the 10 of diamonds. Kind of floating out there with the king 10 on that flop, picking up a diamond draw. Might be thinking twice about this one. He does go ahead and let that one go, and Big Co's going to let that go as well. Nobby is showing the 4.
I got deuces.
I'm gonna go check and see. You a liar.
No, I'm not. You sold me the 4. I said you have a deuce.
Was there a deuce on the board?
Yeah.
You didn't fold that.
So I lose anyway, you know what I mean? But it showed ace diamond.
Was that flush?
No. You buy it. You buy the diamond. You not get that out. Did you?
And we are at hand number 29 here on the Wednesday night DJ's game. 1-2, no limit hold'em, $300 max buy-in stream game every Wednesday. You can sign up for. Get on the list here at Poker House Fort Worth in Burleson. Pat can wake up with the queens this time. Zach with some real pretty suited connectors decide to come along. Brian with the ace jack, who missed them while he was out of his seat. And Janice thinks he'll let this one go, so Promo Pat not getting any contenders there with his queens, does not show his hand. Promo Pat leading the pack and raising first. His aggression pretty well known here at Poker House Fort Worth. He just has not had the hands until the last few. Pretty quiet for the first hours or so of the stream, and then patience paying off, waking up with aces against Big Co's kings and getting some much needed chips. Zach's going to raise this one up with the ace-10 offsuit called in several places, as per usual in Texas poker. Queen, queen, king. No one having a queen in their hand or a king, so missing the field. Zach going to keep up the aggression with the $10 flop bet. And that may clear out everyone. Daryl does have the flush draw And he does come along to see if he can pick up a heart. Not yet on the turns. The 7 of diamonds peels off. Zach's going to slow it down, though, not having anything for himself either. And Daryl's going to lead out, and I like that lead out there. Take control of this hand to steal it either way, whatever comes on the river. And they're going to both have ace high here, so Daryl's just going to go to showdown, and they're going to chop this one up, both with just the ace high. Zach pulling out the Miracle River card to chop that pot, even though he was ahead, technically. Daryl had taken the betting aggression on that hand and was set up for a great river bet there to take that one down. But the King of River freezes that action, and we're off to hand number 31. Again, if you are listening or watching from anywhere around the Fort Worth area, our free rolls are still going on daily at noon, 12 o'clock every day. A free roll here at Poker House Fort Worth. It's good fun, good tournament if you got the day off. Come on down to Poker House Fort Worth and play in the free roll at noon. Kind of a good way to start your day. Free roll tournament, can't beat that. And if you have played any of our free rolls in the last 3 months, if you haven't heard, you're qualified to play in the Road to Vegas Championship. That's going to be a week from this Saturday. A week from this Saturday, the Road to Vegas Championship, where we're going to be giving away 2 seats into the WSOP main event in less than a month. The $10,000 main event ticket. If you play in the tournament at all, if you are qualified for the tournament, if you have played in any of our free rolls or any of their tournaments in the last 3 months, you have chips in that tournament. And by playing, you are eligible for one of our random drawings that we're going to have for a $10,000 seat. And whoever is the eventual winner of the tournament on Sunday is going to win a $10,000 seat. Again, that is a week from this Saturday. I'll be flopping best here with the Queen, Jack, Zach with a gutters, Simon with middle pair. And Nabi going to put in a pretty healthy bet there of 55, about a pot size bet to see if anybody wants to chase anything. Simon thinking long and hard about his middle pair. We've seen Simon take a while and call, and we've seen him take a while and fold, so he definitely likes to contemplate his options. Very close to pulling the trigger there a couple times on Simon, but Nabi with his aggression is going to take that down with the best hand, not letting the gut shot draws or middle pairs come along. So yeah, not this weekend, but next weekend we're going to be giving away 2 seats, 2 $10,000 tickets into the World Series of Poker main event in July. If you participate in the Road to Vegas Championship, if you are qualified to play, that starts a week from this Saturday. And so if you have played at all, any of the tournaments here at Poker House Fort Worth, our free rolls, you have chips and you are qualified. I have seen the list. There are a lot of you. You can come and play in the tournament, and just by playing in the tournament at all, you're going to be qualified for the random seat drawing. The random seat drawing will be done after the registration is over with and everyone who is going to play is entered and playing. And then the $10,000 seat will be awarded to the winner. You see Big Co adding on to his stack before the hand was dealt out, and just in time as he looks down at pocket nines, raises it up to 15. And obviously, as per usual here at this game and many other Texas Hold'em poker tables in Texas, 4 or 5 callers to the flop, and right in the window is going to be that 9. So big spike there for Big Co. No one's going to have a king, but Tim is going to bet this one out for 15, going to take the lead there from Big Co. So Big Co with the decision here if he should go ahead and announce himself with a raise or just make the smooth call. No, he is going to go ahead and fire this one out. So he's going to raise it up to 75 there. That's going to narrow the field down to Tim. And Tim is going to look down and say, I was just kidding, and probably make this fold. Unless he just does not want to believe Big Co. Big Co just added on chips. He could be in bluff mode right now. And Tim could be considering a hero move with Ace Jack, but a second look back lift off the table usually means a fold. And that is what's going to happen. So Big Co going to pick up a much needed pot there. Picking up almost $100 with that pre-flop action with the pocket nines added on just in time. Pick up some extra chips. Simon waking up with the real hand, ace, queen offsuit. Looks like he just limped in with that hand. He's going to bring in several others. King 9, King 6, Queen Jack, and 6-3. Lots of people sharing some cards here. Could set up for a big pot with the right flops. Minnesota Mike. Flush draw there for Tim. He's going to bet that out with the $10. Oh no, Tim checked the flush draw. Zach's going to bet out the 6-3 with his bottom pair, which is best at the moment. And you're going to get $10 calls out of a few other spots here at the table. 8 of spades does not change that much. Gives Tim a gut shot to go along with his flush draw. Simon was still 2 overs, and Daryl, nothing there. But it is going to check around. And the river 5 does not help. So Zach's 6-3 is going to be best, but Tim's going to go ahead and bet this up for 15, and Zach's going to look him up. Zach is going to look him up with bottom pair here. So the little bet there by Tim is not going to work.
Straight draw.
What's our next one? Now.
Yeah, straight up. Doing it, Black Hawk?
And we had to turn up and hear if Tim had anything to say about Zach calling him up with the bottom pair. Turns that 15 into about 50 on the turn or even on the river. Might have worked there, but still a good try there out of Tim, who's had a good night tonight. As you see here, him and Janice are the big winners tonight in the 1-2 game. It says 5-5-5 PLO, but that is not what they are playing tonight. It is the 1-2 DJ's game. This is the bomb pot that we were discussing a little bit ago. And again, if you're unfamiliar with the bomb pots, it is 4 cards in the hole directly to see 2 separate boards. PLO rules. That means you must play 2 cards out of the hand. Tim is the only king that I see for the bottom board. Does anybody have the straight? It looks like Promo Pat has the Queen 9 straight on the top board. So he's going to have a pretty good lock on that top board. Now Big KO has Big KO. Yep, there's Big KO has a king as well. Does not have a full boat, but Ace King being pretty strong. Pat is going to go ahead and announce his hand and hammer this top board with his Queen 9. As you can see, he's got Queen 9 in his hand to make the 8 Jack 10 straight. And it looks like Tim is cutting out some cards there because he just made a full house on the turn on the bottom board with his King 7. Let's see if anybody else has anything else that they think they want to call with. Simon, which has spades, a pair of jacks, a gut shot. Straight draw is probably for the bottom end there. But it does have the jack high spades draw, which is drawing dead to the King 7 of Tim. But he's cutting out calling chips. So he may still like his flush draw on the bottom. He's still thinking. Like I said, Simon pretty methodical tonight on his calls and his folds. He does ultimately decide to let it go, and good for it. Now, Big Co has a little bit of a decision here. He does have the best king, but when everyone has 4 cards in their hand, if someone else does have the king, all they need is a 4 or a 7 to go with it. And that ace king is toast, and he does go ahead and lay that down. So we're going to be reduced down to Promo Pat and Tim, which both will not be able to steal the other board from each other. So this is going to be a chopped pot. Now that ace could be a slight scare, but it's not going to be. That Queen 9 still going to be holding. Obviously, if Tim had a queen in his hand, he would have rivered the larger Broadway straight to steal the whole pot, but does not happen. So Promo Pat's going to split it with him, and they're going to be splitting up everybody else's money here in these bomb pots.
Okay, we are good to go.
Hand number 35. And this is the 1-2 Hold'em game, DJ's game, every Wednesday here at Poker House Fort Worth. My name is Reese, with you for the first time here at Poker House. Usually I'm in West Texas commenting on the stream, but I'm happen to be here in Burleson tonight. So if you want to meet me come up here, play in this game. If you are watching and or listening nearby the Burleson area, we will be playing this game on Beyond the Stream. Come up to Poker House Fort Worth and get your name on the list. Simon going to be best here with a pair of aces. Going to bet this river out here. Tim, see if he wants to look him up with the second pair. The backdoor diamond draw did get there, but I don't think that's going to bother Tim too much. It just depends on if he thinks he has an ace or not. He's going to go ahead and pay off Simon, and Simon's going to pick up this small pot with the ace, aces and fives with the king kicker. And a limped around pot here. 5 players calling the $2 big blind. King 9-5 on this flop, not connecting it with anyone. Simon and Tim still best with the ace high. Simon's going to go ahead and bet this one out. Tim holding the ace of diamonds. Navi's going to come along here, floating with the 10-8. Lots of good turn cards for 10-8 here. Looking for a heart, and there is a heart. So it does pick up the flush draw. It's going to be stuck calling another bet here, but Simon is not going to make him pay it, so we're going to get to see a river. It's not going to make it there for Navi, but a bet here could get Simon off the hand, and he does check it to him, so Simon's just going to have to turn this over ace high and be best here, and Navi is going to be upset he did not bet anything on that turn or river. If you're going to float that flop and pick it back weight on that turn, and Simon slows down, you got to be able to bet, push him off of it. Simon has shown that he will lay it down, even though it really looks like he wants to call. He's been in position a couple times to make a couple hero calls and or raises, and has not been able to pull the trigger tonight. Hand number 37. Pat still leading the field in the aggression frequency category. I will say he has not had much tonight, but what he has caught, he has taken full advantage of. Built up his stack quite nicely. Zach going to be raising this up to 12, who also hasn't had a whole lot of action in the last hour or so. Big Co going to come along with 8-7 offsuit. Nabi with the pocket sixes looking to go set 9 and 4 cheap and makes the call. Tim coming along in the low jack for 12 with the queen 4 suited. So a variety of hands here, 4 ways in this $50 pot. And we'll see what dealer Minnesota Mike has in store. And we're going to get a queen jack 5, putting it Tim best with his queen 4 offsuit. And he is going to lead out here for the same bet of 12. Zach calls with the gut shot king at 10. Nabi going to see if he can still spike a 6, decides to come along. No help to anyone, so Tim is still going to be best with his queens. He is going to slow down this time though, and Tim, I'm sorry, yeah, Tim's going to continue the aggression. He was the one that betted out. Nabi made the call with the 6s. And Zach snap called again, picking up the spades on the turn. Lots more equity. Does not quite make it. So Tim is going to go ahead and continue to bet this out, and Zach is not going to be able to come along this time, missing out on the 10 or the spade, and decides to let it go, and Tim picks up that $141 pot and shows the queen to let everyone know that he was not messing around. Now, this is one of my favorite stats of any live stream, is the went to showdown stat. So Tim going to showdown 40% of the hands he's involved in. So almost half the hands that he's involved in, he gets all the way to the river. And it's a very telling stat. It either means that you have a lot of money in front of you, or you have none because you have chased and been unable to hit. One of my favorite stats in live streams is going to showdown. Everybody talks about the VPIP, but going to showdown to me is the one I like to see the most. 4 ways to a flop here on a $15 raised pot. Ace Jack versus deuces, and then 2 other players with some hopes and some dreams. Queen 7, King 8, 10, 8, 3 on the flop, and Brian going to flop best here with middle pair, and he's going to go ahead and bet this out with the aggression of $20, and I like this bet. Big Co's going to float with his ace jack offsuit, going to get Zach out of there with his pocket deuces. Simon folds as well. So Brian here with the best of it, middle pair. The king is an overcard that Big Co could represent here, especially if Brian checks it to him, which he does. So I'd like to see a good bet out of here in Big Co, and he does follow through. It looks like 40. So fantastic play there by Big Co. But Brian's going to pick up 2 pair, and obviously going to raise him. So well played by Big Co, but little did he know that made Brian's second pair. Again, floating with ace jack there and a scare card on the turn, especially when your opponent checks it to you. It's a good time to make a bet. It was a good sizing, a good try there, but unfortunately that was a little trappy by Brian there. So even though Big Co didn't drag that pot, I felt like that was really good play out of Big Co's part. Player stacks, Janice, the big winner, won early and has kept those chips all to herself, almost $1,000 on her $300 buy-in. Tim, also the recipient of some big hands early, has been able to hang on to those chips. He's also a little under 1,000. Brian C3 doubled up to a little over 600. Nabi with 817. And then everyone else about even or under for the stream. So no one really running away with it. The chips have been shared between 2 or 3 people. Big Co looking to make a move with King Jack offsuit, raised it up to 15, and getting everyone to call has been the story for him the whole night. Everyone has called Big Co so far, so maybe this one can hang on. It's going to be a monotone board, all spades, and Nabi with the king of spades in his hand, no one holding the ace. So this pot could be up for sale. No one's going to bet this flop, so we're going to take it to a turn to see if that fourth spade comes and halts all action. It does not. Four of clubs doesn't change anything. And Nabi going to bet out his top pair of queens. Looks like betting 35. And not much else for anyone else to be able to call with. Tim does pick up a pair there on the turn. They're going to lay that down. Simon now has a double gut shot, but hard to continue with that with three spades already out there. It takes away some of your outs. If your straight does get there, it could be a spade, and then you're dead to any spade in your opponent's hand. He does let that go. Big Co missing, unfortunately. And it says Daryl wins on the screen, but that's actually Nabi with his king, queen offsuit. Daryl had the pocket tens and let that one go. Queen on the turn here. It does not change anything. No one with really anything to speak of. A decent $40 pot there. Daryl having a second pair of sevens. It's going to be finally bet out by Daryl. Tim makes the call with the gut shot. Simon coming along with Jack 9. And the river 7 there does make Daryl feel better about his hand if no one's been slow playing the queen. And going to see him probably bet this out here, which he does, a small $20 bet, but not going to get any takers unless Brian feels like looking him up with ace high, which he does. So I don't blame him. The hand definitely played weird. Ace high is good here a lot of the time, but not this time. Daryl's going to have the 7 for the lower end of the boat and pick up that pot there, and he is slowly climbing that chip stack back after an early rebuy tough beat that he took earlier in the stream. And again, if you are recently tuned in, this is the 1-2 DJs game. 1-2 no limit hold'em $300 max buy-in. Happens every Wednesday here at Poker House Fort Worth. You can sign up anytime during the week on Poker Alice or sign up in the club in Burleson. If you feel like you'd like to play on stream on this game, feel free to come sign up. This game does continue on beyond the stream, so if you've been watching or listening and want to sit down with these guys, come on up here to Poker House Fort Worth in Burleson. The game will continue on. And a $5 straddle hand with several people coming in. Not much to speak of around the table. So we'll see what Minnesota Mike has in store. Again, 2 queens on the flop. And still no one with a queen in their hand this time. So we are going to check this one around. I'm not even sure anybody has the bottom pair this time. There's a 9. I did see someone with a 9. Tim does have a 9. So he's going to have it best. Spades draw for Zach and Simon. And also Big Co. So 3 players with spades. So while that makes it less likely a spade does come out, if it does, we're going to have a pretty good train wreck. Does not happen. That's going to make the vote. Oh no, somebody else folded. They folded the 9. So actually Big Co is going to be best here with the kings. And but no way that he can know that. And so this bet here by Zach is going to be able to take this one down. Good bet there by Zach. Fantastically done. And a much needed pot. Hasn't gotten to stack some chips in a little while. So if you were in the Fort Worth area here at Poker House Fort Worth, every day at noon, we have our noon free roll. 7 days a week, the noon free roll. It's a $500 guarantee free roll every day at noon. So if you are off of work, sometime during the week, not much going on, it's a good way to start your day taking down a free roll at lunch. Come join us here at Poker House Fort Worth in Burleson and play in our noon free rolls. And if you have been playing in our free rolls, you are qualified for our Road to Vegas promotion that just finished up this last weekend. We're going to have the championship tournament a week from this Saturday. That's right, a week from this Saturday. If you have any points in the Road to Vegas promotion, and you do have them if you have played in any of our free roll tournaments the last 3 months, I believe, you've got chips in this tournament, and you need to come play in this tournament. We're going to give away 2 $10,000 tickets to the World Series of Poker main event. That's right, a $10,000 ticket into the World Series of Poker main event. We're going to have a random seat drawing for anyone who plays in the tournament. So again, if you're playing in this tournament at all a week from Saturday, you have a chance to win a $10,000 seat into the World Series of Poker main event. And then also we're going to give away a ticket to whomever wins the tournament. Promo Pat betting the gut shot. And Brian getting sticky with his bottom pair 9s. Promo Pat's going to take the lead on this hand with his turned queen. Probably going to get him way out of his hand here. But he does sneakily check it there because that could be a scare card for himself on someone making the straight. And the 8 does get there. So Brian is going to take the lead and the check mark on this hand on the river with the 10 for the straight. Promo Pat, top pair, but that is a very scary board for just a lone pair of queens. Don't think he can make this call. It's a good enough player to get away from it and does so. So Brian picking up the open-ended straight draw, makes it to the river. And you hear Minnesota Mike announcing the straight to the floor person. That's our Fortune Jackpot. Our Fortune Jackpot promotion. I believe it's up to $600. All you have to do is hit 4 hands in a block of so many hours here at Poker House Fort Worth. If you make a straight, a full house, an ace high flush, or any set on the flop. A set on the flop, any ace high flush by the river, full house by the river, straight by the river. If you make all 4 of those hands, you win the daily jackpot. So an extra way to make some money here at Poker House Fort Worth in Burleson. Just by playing, you have a chance to win the Fortune Jackpot promotion. And even these guys are playing on live stream at the live stream table. They're still eligible for all of not only the bad beat, but the fortune jackpot and any other promotions that we have going on all the time here at Poker House Fort Worth. Zach going to raise up the suited ace jack to 20. Janice not making the call with the queen 10 offsuit. And so we're actually going to see a heads up battle. Not 5 callers to a flop. And Simon a little bit behind the ace jack with his queen jack. No help to either player with a king 7-6, and it's going to get checked through. Deuce of diamonds on the turn. Doesn't change anything, but Zach is going to go ahead and bet a $10 feeler bet here into this $40 pot. And Simon will do his typical due diligence and come along with the queen jack. And neither player hitting on this board, but Zach going to continue like he does with a bet of 15. What a fantastic sizing. That just says, please call me, which does not look like air at all. It looks like it is a hand with a pair that Simon cannot beat with his queen jack. And he's going to lay that down. So good aggression there by Zach to pick up that little pot there and stacking another one. Bringing up him to just shy of 700. And as on the screen there, our aggression frequency, Pat still the highest with 24%. Daryl, of all people, believe it or not, Daryl at 21% on the aggression frequency has picked up some hands and raised it up. Our least aggressive player at the table is Janice, but I believe she is the big stack. Picking up a couple monster hands early on in the stream and hanging on to those chips. And just as I say that, she does pick up a hand. Daryl calling the $5 straddle, Navi calling with pocket deuces, Janice with pocket sevens, and promo Pat going to raise it up here with 7-4 suited. I like the mix-up play here. Zach waking up with ace king is going to make that call. Daryl's going to come along with the queen 9, and Nabi and Janice are both going to make this call. And we're going to go 5 ways to a flop, $25 pre-flop. So we're already over $130 in the pot. So a nice big pot has brewed here. Daryl going to be flopping top pair and going to take the betting lead here with the queens betting 35. Nabi and Janice both missing their possible sets. Promo Pat, who had raised pre-flop, cannot continue. But Zach is going to look up the gut shot here, float with the ace-king. Does not quite get there yet, so we are heads up. Daryl with the top pair of queens, and Zach with still just ace-king, gut shot for a 10, but little does he know his ace and king are good as well. But Daryl's going to keep up the aggression and only betting 35 again, so it's yep, so Zach shows the ace-king. And Daryl's going to take that one down. Janice getting a second chance here with a pocket pair to try to flop a set. That is how she got paid in a pretty big hand earlier in the stream to accumulate a lot of those chips. But Pat is going to continue his aggression, raising it up to 25 with Queen 9 suited. Janice coming along, and Simon going to make the call with the Ace Jack suited. Queens have been hot. See if Pat can catch a queen. Does not. Janice is still going to be best with her pocket nines, but hard to imagine so on a King 10-3 board. Promo Pat going to keep up the aggression with a bet of 30. And it's going to go a call by Simon, looking for running clubs or that queen. No help yet. Let's see if Pat keeps up the aggression. He does not. Slows it down. Simon going to check behind, looking for a queen, ace, or a jack. And he does hit the jack on the river, which is going to be the card there for, yeah, promo Pat's got a 9. So, yeah, that's going to make the straight for Pat. So, surprising quick check. I didn't expect that. I thought might see a bet out of Pat on that one, but of course he does have one bigger straight out there with the ace queen, and does have showdown value there with his lower ended straight. And because of the action pre-flop and aggression on that flop, picks up a pretty decent sized pot. Again, this game will move on past the stream. So if you feel like you want to sit down with these guys and mix it up a bit, and you are near Burleson, Fort Worth area, come on down to Poker House Fort Worth and hop in. It's a 1-2 no limit game, a $300 buy-in. King 10-7 on the flop in this $30 pot. Simon gonna bet out with his bottom pair, called by, looks like Daryl with the double gutter. Big Co comes along with the open ender, and Tim floating along with his ace high. Another king on the turn doesn't improve anyone's holdings. Simon's still best with the bottom pair, and he's going to go ahead and keep betting the 25. Big Co may be looking to make a move here. He's counting out his stack. He knows he's open-ended, but he is just going to make the call, still trying to catch that 9 or ace on the river and make that straight. Does not get it this time, so how confident is Simon in his bottom pair? Enough to go ahead and make another bet, and Big Co is just unfortunately having to fold, missing his straight draw. It's been kind of the story for him tonight, not been able to make the draws that he's had. He's had a few good hands, one big cooler with kings versus aces, waking up with kings against Pat's aces, but just hasn't quite been able to get one on his side. The one time he flopped Broadway, didn't have much else in the field to take him on and make any money off that pot. But a very common story in the poker world. Sometimes the deck is against you, but every new hand is a new hand, so Big Co will be playing on, and as long as there's a game, there's a chance for him to run it back up. And do we have some straddle shenanigans going on here? We've got about 25 minutes left of the stream. So yeah, that's what just confirmed there. We have a $40 straddle, and what a time for Zach to wake up with ace king suited. So strap in, here we go. We reached to the straddle times here of the live stream. everyone's favorite. Nabi going to come along with the very sneaky 8 deuce suited. And Promo wakes up with a hand as well. Pat, ace 10 suited. Tim already halfway there with the quadruple shuttle to 20, going to make the call 240. And we're going to go 4 ways to a flop with a $160 pot. Some good hands out there and some hopeful hands out there. All clubs definitely going to slow the action as each player in the hand does not have a single club. But Zach does have the ace with king kicker, and Pat does have an ace with a worst kicker, but Tim is the one who will be doing the betting here, it looks like. No, he did check it, and Zach's going to keep up the aggression with the best of it with his ace-king, even though it is the wrong flavor for that board. And can Pat continue on here without a club as well? Doesn't look like he's going to. And so Tim did make a bet out for 20, so good try there by Tim. And Zach going to show the best hand.
Is that clubs? Is that clubs?
And we are moving on to hand number 48 as the graphics here catch up. Still showing the graphics from the last hand, although I'm sure Zach would like to have ace-king suited once again. And looks like we're going to have 5 or 6 to the flop here. Again, ignore the graphics on the screen. This is the next hand here. And Navi going to be betting this flop out. Pretty healthy bet. It's like 25 to go. There's about 60 in the pot. Looks like it was raised up $10. Tim thinking long and hard about this and does make the call. Zach with a snap call, and it looks like Simon's coming along. Simon's coming over the raise. The first check raise we've seen out of, it's not a check raise, but the first good raise we've seen out of Simon facing a bet. And Navi's going to come along, so that's going to take Tim out of the hand, and Zach's going to come along as well. So again, ignore the graphics on the screen for this one, but it is definitely a juicy pot. King, Jack 4, 2 clubs. The 6 of hearts brings in a backdoor heart draw as well. Navi, who had the betting lead on that flop, who bet out 25 and got raised to 100, now continues the betting lead with a bet of 200 into Zach. Again, Simon is the one who did the raising on the flop. And Zach counting out calling chips here. So very, very big pot brewing. Zach does make the call. Again, we apologize for the graphics being frozen from the last hand. This is not the hands that they currently hold. We do not know what they have on this hand. We have a King, Jack 4, 6 board. 2 clubs and 2 hearts. On the flop, we had a $25 bet out of Navi, which was called by Zach and then raised 100 by Simon in the 2 seat. And then the 6 of hearts peels off on the turn, effectively changing nothing. And Navi still with the betting lead of 200, called by Zach. And so Simon was thinking, man, I'm the one who raised the aggression on this flop, and now y'all are still betting and calling into me. So he's definitely got to be a little confused as to where he stands. Again, we are playing this hand dark. Simon's still playing with his chips here, cutting out the $200 call. Again, keep in mind, he was the aggressor on the flop, raising Nabi's bet of 25 to 125. And now Nabi's still keeping up the aggression. And it's got to be hard with Zach calling behind you. I think 200 is probably the biggest bet we've had all night. Simon does make the call, so we have a significant pot, well over 1,000 in the pot right now. The 3 of diamonds, the board develops into nothing. So it's definitely going to be difficult here. Simon didn't have that much behind after that call, so no amount of betting is probably going to get him to fold unless he had a completely missed flush draw. And Nabi's got to be thinking about how Zach has snap called his raise, Simon's re-raise on the flop, and then his bet on the turn of 200. So it's going to be difficult for Nabi to bet too much here without a monster. But he is going to bet again a $200 bet. It's going to be well over 1,000 in the pot, definitely the pot of the night. Again, we apologize to ignore the graphics. This hand is completely in the dark. We've got Jack 4, 6, 3 on the board. The 2 clubs on the flop, the Jack and the King. The did not run out another club. And Zach does fold. Looks like he might have been on a straight or club draw there. And Simon does make the call, does not have that much left behind. And so as it picks it up here, Simon, there's the graphic. So Simon is going to have King 4 on that flop. So Nabi picks up a king. Yep, there is Zach saying he did have the nut club draw. So Simon picking up, flopping 2 pair and holding. Nabi really playing his top pair of kings there, hoping his opponents are just on draws. So a massive, massive pot there for Simon.
You said King 4. I said, like, how do you know my car? I have King 4.
And that is the pot of the night there for Simon, who takes the lead at the table in the chip count of over 1.3K with his flop 2 pair, King 4, holding up. Zach, we heard him say that he did have the ace high flush draw. Do not blame him one iota for playing it that way. Stayed in there. The pot odds were worth it for him to come along and try to hit that last club, but just did not quite get there. And we've got about 15 minutes left of the stream. So players are going to be start mixing it up pretty well. And we have 7 to a flop, 15 apiece, so we already have a good sized pot. Queen, Jack 6 on this flop. Looks like Pat with the top pair of queens, king, kicker. Big Co with the middle pair, ace kicker. No one's going to be betting this flop. And the ace will change things, but it does bring in the front door spade draw that no one has, but could be a scare card. But that's going to give 2 pair for Big Co, and he's going to go ahead and put the rest of his stack in, and do not blame him one bit. And it's probably going to get through, to be honest. I don't see much of anything for anybody else. So pretty much a full double up is going to be here for Big Co. Simon asking for a count. So unless he thinks that his 5 is good, which it is for a spade draw, but he goes and let it go, and so does Brian. So Big Co does not get a call, but that's going to be a full double up for him. Much needed chips. So again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to Poker House Fort Worth DJ's game, the 1-2 no limit $300 max buy-in Wednesday night game. You too can be on this stream. All you got to do is sign up at Poker House Fort Worth, or you can sign up through Poker Atlas every Wednesday at 7 p.m. from 7 to 10. And if you've been listening or watching tonight and you want to get it in and mix it up with these guys, the game does continue beyond the stream. Make your way to Burleson, Texas, just south of Fort Worth, to Poker House Fort Worth, and come join these guys to play the rest of the night, because it will continue on even after the stream does end. Nabi's going to raise up to 15 with King at 9, and we're going to have 4 other callers, so 5 ways to a flop, to people having Queen 10. We're going to see a flop of Ace 8 Deuce. Simon flopping middle pair, Zach bottom pair, no one with the ace. And Zach's going to go about his bottom pair, and they could be playing the 7 Deuce game here, ladies and gentlemen. I heard them talking about it earlier. They could be playing the 7 Deuce game. So Zach could be vying for that $5 or $10 per person. And it's going to work. It is 100% going to work, because Nabi with his King 9 does not pick up any additional equity on this turn. Needed a club to maybe try for a river club draw. Going to let that go. And so let's see here the 7 Deuce game. Okay, I was just kidding. They are not playing the 7 Deuce game. Zach's just that good. I turned up the volume to see if he would be like, pay me, guys. I won with Jack Deuce, but no. So he just knew his deuces were best and playing accordingly. Good on him. That is hilarious. And we've had a lot of Big Co fans in the chat. He's had a rough night of it. He had a big cooler. His kings ran into aces of Pat. Hasn't been able to make many of his draws, and when he did have a few big hands, there was no other takers with anything else to pay him off. But it's good to see lots of fans there in the chat. And here you go. You were just in time. Big Co picking up pocket queens. Raised it up to 30, and Nabi with the pocket jack. So this is it, guys. This is the moment that Big Co's been waiting for. Finally, his time to cooler someone else for once. Simon having ace king could be a party spoiler here. So we're going to go 3 ways to the flop. Ace king versus queens versus jacks. Big Co in the lead. And we'll see a flop here from Minnesota Mike as we get the cards straightened up here. And a safe flop for pocket queens, 7, 3, 9. Big Co still in the lead with his pocket queens. Let's see if he wants to continue this flop. We got $100 in the pot here, and Big Co only recently doubled up to have a couple hundred in his stack. So it's still going to be a good 1/3 pickup for him if he bets here and takes this one down. But Nabi here with pocket jacks, I don't see him really going anywhere. He'll probably jam in the rest of his chips over the top, which will have enough to cover Big Co. But Don't think you can fold jacks here. Yep, and he's not going to. So he's going to go ahead and bet this all in. Simon may think about this ace king here for a little while. I know it's obviously just ace king, but he does have the big stack at the table and picked up a massive pot a moment ago, bringing his over 1K pot, bringing his stack to over 1.3K. And these all ins are only $136 to him. And Big Co doesn't have much more than that. So you could see Simon float here with the ace king. And if Big Co's hand holds, it'll be a full triple up. Simon's got to put him on a pocket pair. Just depends if he wants to gamble $120, $130 to see if he can spike an ace or a king. It's a big laydown here for, yep, there it goes. Okay, so that was a big laydown here for Big Co. Getting the ace king out of the way. They're going to ask to run it twice, but I was going to run it more than once, more than that. So let's see what happens.
Oh, aces.
So there's the full double up plus some for Big Co. We've been waiting for that all night. The chat I know has been. So a good $400 pot. Big Co finally being on the right side of a cooler. So a well-needed chip pile there for Big Co to get some of the back. So good on him, and to his buddies in the chat rooting him on. Finally a good win there for Big Co. We've only got about one or two more hands left of the stream. But like I said, this game will continue on. So maybe Big Co will continue the newfound run good and get some of his chips back. But that was a good pot well to get it back on the right track. Well over $400 in that pot. So as you see, Simon's there with the largest chip stack, winning the pot of the night with the flop 2 pair. Brian going to raise it up with pocket 8s to 20 and 3 other callers. Pat with the 5-4 offsuit, Zach with queen 7 suited and the king 10. Ace, Jack 9. Not much for any player. The 8s are still going to be in the lead. A gut shot for Simon, who checks back looking at his cards. Pat going to go ahead and show the aggressive, betting a half pot size bet of 40. Is going to get Zach out of the way. Simon here going to fold as well, and Brian may not be able to continue with pocket 8s on an ace jack 9 board, but he could be thinking about a move here. Of course, we know it would definitely work. Depends on what he thinks of Pat's playstyle, but he goes ahead and lets it go. Brian built up a pretty good stack. He does not want to give it away late in the stream, but you could tell that he, I think he knew something was up there, but just couldn't quite pull the trigger. So before we get through this last hand of the stream, don't forget, a week from this Saturday, the Road to Vegas Championship. The Road to Vegas Championship, where we're going to be giving away not one, but two $10,000 tickets into the World Series of Poker main event next month. We're going to give those away a week from. We're going to give away a random seat drawn a week from today for everyone who plays in the tournament on Saturday, and then the winner on Sunday, because we'll play down to a certain percentage on a Saturday, and then the eventual winner will get the other $10,000 ticket to the World Series of Poker. If you have played in any of our tournaments in the last few months, you have seen the Road to Vegas promotion, and you have chips in the tournament. You are qualified for this tournament. It's going to be a week from this Saturday. The Road to Vegas Championship, where we're going to give away a random seat drawn to everyone who plays in the tournament and a $10,000 seat to the eventual winner. And I saw a queen in Daryl's hand. Yeah, he's going to bet this out immediately with trip queens. I don't know if he's going to have many takers here. Big Co does have an ace. I don't know if he called the 10. It looks like he did, to see if he can improve on his 3 kicker. Brian here with not much can let that one go. So we're going to see Daryl and Big Co going to a turn. A 5 of clubs changes. Nothing does not improve Big Co's kicker that much. Daryl's going to continue on with the pressure at 15. Big Co just got these chips. And so he's going to continue on here. He's looking for an ace and only an ace. Does not get there. Hoping that it could have turned into a chop pot there with the king if his opponent just had, say, an ace jack or an ace 10. He's going to check it. And Daryl continues the aggression. Now, Daryl loves showdown. But Big Co's going to pay him off anyway. That king did hurt him. That king improved his hand enough to hopefully chop the pot, like I said, with any of the ace jacks, ace 10s, ace 9s. So Big Co giving a little bit back up the stack there to Daryl. But he's definitely on the road to recovery. And you could be on the road to Vegas a week from this Saturday. Again, if you have participated in any of our free rolls tournaments in the last 3 months, you have chips waiting on you. So check out our Facebook and check it out here in-house for the Road to Vegas Championship. That is going to be a week from this Saturday. And we're going to have 2 tickets, a random seat drawing for everyone who participates in the tournament, and the eventual winner of the tournament. Both will be getting a $10,000 ticket into the World Series of Poker main event. That's less than 1 month away. So be sure and check out Poker House Fort Worth. Come see us in Burleson, Texas, just south of Fort Worth. You can sign up for this game next Wednesday. This is DJ's 1-2 game with a $300 buy-in. We stream it from 7 to 10 every Wednesday. And the game is continuing on as even after I turn the off button. We're going to be continuing this game. So if you've been listening or watching in the area, come on up here and sit down with these guys and see if Big Co can run up that stack and get some of that money back. We'll see if Simon can hold on to those newfound chips that he got in that monster over 1K pot. And we appreciate everyone tuning in to our live stream. And got a little bit of action here. A bottom set versus Daryl's pair of sixes. It's going to be an open-ended straight draw. Top pair for Brian there. Going to go and let that go. Big Co let the Jack 10 go. And so Promo Pat and Daryl are going to be duking this one out. The 9 on the turn does not bring it home for Daryl. Promo's set is still going to be good. See how heavy he bets this turn here to try to get Daryl off the draw. And it is going to work. So, and there it is, the flop set announced by Minnesota Mike for the Fortune Jackpot promotion. All you need to do is hit 4 hands in the hours block, straight, full house, ace high flush, flop set, full house, ace high flush, and a straight to win. That was going to be over $600, I think, on the next one. But that and many more promotions here at Poker House Fort Worth. Again, my name is Reese. Appreciate you tuning in. And if you are in the area, like I said, this game is going to continue on. You can come see and meet me and play with these guys and get on the list for next Wednesday for DJ's game, the $300 max buy-in game. And do not miss our Road to Vegas Championship that's going to be going on a week from this Saturday. If you've been playing at all over the last few months, you probably have chips to qualify you into it. We're going to give away a random seat to the main event in Las Vegas, and we're going to give away a main event seat to the winner. So again, thanks everyone for tuning in, and come see us at Poker House Fort Worth. Send us messages on Facebook if you have any questions, and hope to see all